In September 2023, the Justice Department and the Department of the Navy announced that they are finalizing the elective option process to give folks an expedited option to get a settlement under the Camp Lejeune Justice Act. Now, at the end of this video, I'll put the chart up and let it run for a minute or so. That way you can take a look at the expected settlement offer amounts and screenshot it if you want to. Now, back to the topic at hand. Finally, we have confirmation that viable claims will be paid, and we have a good solid idea of what a bottom dollar offer on these claims is going to look like. In other words, I think they've showed us their low number in terms of negotiation. Now keep in mind, this elective option will supplement the other options that will remain in place. So you don't have to take the elective option. However, if you're in a hurry to get this wrapped up, the elective option may be a good choice for you and your family. So essentially, things are starting to look a lot like what we've been talking about from the beginning of all of this about a year ago. You and me, we looked at the sheer number of claims that were being filed, 93,000 as of September 2023, coupled with the emails we've been receiving from the higher-ups talking about how understaffed the government is to handle these cases. And we said, look, if people are going to get paid this decade, they're going to have to come up with some sort of process to determine how much to offer a person based on how long they were at Camp Lejeune and what condition they're suffering from. And it looks like that's exactly what they're going to do. Now, before we talk more about this, let's talk about the Camp Lejeune Justice Act for just a minute to give some context to the video for those who are hearing about this for the first time. The Camp Lejeune Justice Act is a part of the Honoring Our Promise to Address Comprehensive Toxics Act, or the Honoring Our Pact Act. This was signed into law on August 10th, 2022, and it allows folks to file claims to try and recover damages for injuries they've suffered as a result of exposure to the contaminated water at Camp Lejeune. The Act specifically allows folks who were at Camp Lejeune at least 30 days at some point from the middle of 1953 through 1987 to pursue damages if they suffered a condition that's been linked to the toxic water there at Camp Lejeune. So let's circle back and talk more about the elective option. The elective option has been established to help resolve some of these Camp Lejeune claims as quickly as possible. And just like pursuing a Camp Lejeune Justice Act lawsuit or any other avenue of recovery, it all starts with the filing of an administrative claim. The elective option is going to allow folks the option of taking a settlement amount based on the type of injury or illness and the amount of time they were at Camp Lejeune. The goal here is to narrow the factors considered to allow these claims to be settled out quickly and judiciously. In other words, they're not going to look at how your illness affected you individually, as they ostensibly will under the other processes. They're going to see if you check a couple of boxes, and if you do, they're going to offer up a predetermined settlement amount. Now, if you accept the offer under the elective option, they'll close out your tab and off you go. If not, you can proceed through the administrative claims process and possibly into litigation. As many of you know, folks are dying during this process, and many of them won't live to see their claim paid out. So I believe this is an effort to try and mitigate that injustice, because I think a lot of people are upset about the delay. Now keep in mind, not everyone filing a claim under the Camp Lejeune Justice Act will have the opportunity to participate in the elective option. At least it doesn't appear that way at this time. Within the framework of the elective option, the claimants who will get a chance to participate in this are those people who have conditions that the Agency for Toxic Substances and Disease Registry has already determined are linked to the chemicals and contaminants found in the water at Camp Lejeune. Those conditions have been classified as Tier 1 and Tier 2 conditions. Tier 1 conditions are those conditions the agency has established the strongest evidence of causation. In other words, these are the conditions with the strongest link to the contaminants in the water at Camp Lejeune. The Tier 1 conditions include things like kidney cancer, liver cancer, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, leukemia, and bladder cancer. Tier 2 conditions are those conditions that the agency has established possible evidence of causation. And these Tier 2 conditions include multiple myeloma, Parkinson's disease, kidney disease, end-stage renal disease, systemic sclerosis, and systemic scleroderma. So here's the big question. How much are they going to pay? Well, if you have a Tier 1 condition, they're going to offer $150,000 if you were at Camp Lejeune anywhere from 30 days to 364 days. They're going to offer you $300,000 if you were there between 1 and 5 years. And they're going to offer you $450,000 if you were there for more than 5 years. If you have a Tier 2 condition, they're going to offer you $100,000 if you were at Camp Lejeune between 30 days and 364 days. They're going to offer you $250,000 if you were there between 1 and 5 years. And they're going to offer you $400,000 if you were there for more than 5 years. Now, regardless of whether we're talking about a Tier 1 condition or a Tier 2 condition, and regardless of how much time the person spent at Camp Lejeune, it looks like they're going to throw in another $100,000 if the person died as a result of their illness. In other words, they're tacking on an additional $100,000 for wrongful death claims. Now, as we talked about, the elective option supplements other mechanisms for resolving claims. So folks can still pursue the normal administrative claims process or litigation. The elective option will be an additional option for folks and will provide them with another means of recovery. Now, I see this as being an especially attractive option to folks who don't have a lot of time to wait out the litigation process. Unfortunately, the Camp Lejeune Justice Act process has taken longer than folks expected, and it looks like it could drag on for a while longer. Now, I'm going to say goodbye, and then I'm going to drop a chart in this video so that you can see all the settlement offer dollar amounts. And that way you can take a screenshot of it if you want to take a closer look. Before I drop the chart in this video, I just want to say that I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I helped you out. And if you want help with your Camp Lejeune Justice Act claim, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. I'm licensed in the Eastern District of North Carolina, and we've been offering to help people for 20% fees if the case doesn't go to lawsuit, and 25% once it goes to suit. So long as you have one of the qualifying conditions we talked about, and if you spent 30 days there sometime in those years between 1953 and 1987. Also, if you don't have one of the conditions listed, but you do have a condition or an illness, you can still call us, and we'll be happy to talk with you, and we may be able to put you in touch with a firm that can help you for the same fee we're charging. We're happy to help you however we can. And now, as promised, I'm going to drop a chart in this video for you. And thank you so much for watching this video, and I really appreciate your time, and thank you for your service and for your family's service. So here's that chart.